So recently, rapper Tory Lanez was charged with shooting rapper Megan The Stallion. And oftentimes I've said that black women are a lot of times not believed or not really respected in terms of domestic violence. And when we are in relationships with individuals who have hair trigger tempers, um, so this article basically, it just isn't one of many articles that validates some of the things that I had been saying, that sometimes women are in relationships and they put up with a lot in those relationships, even if the relationships are not great relationships with their partner. And this article just came out. Those of you who are just now looking at this, charges for the shooting. Megan The Stallion, Tory Lane faces up to 23 years in prison in the shooting of Megan The Stallion. And so the rapper Tory Lanez was charged with assault in Megan The Stallion's shooting. So this is by a Tyron writer, and she's a writer for Yahoo Entertainment. So she's basically merely writing of the developments of what has come out of all of this. So Megan The Stallion might be getting some closure on her traumatic night. The night we saw her getting out of the SUV and her feet were bloody. At least one of her foots looked really bloody from the way the videotape showed it. So rapper Tory Lanez has been charged with a felony assault in connection to July's shooting, just weeks after he publicly declared that he was innocent. So Lanez was born in Daystar, Peterson, and he was charged Friday with one felony count each of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, personal use of a firearm, and carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle. So according to the LA District Attorney Office, so he also faces a gun allegation and that he personally inflicted great bodily injury. So here to the left is Tory Lanez, and to the right is Megan The Stallion, both of whom have had musical talents, and they have been pretty popularized in today's popular hip hop culture. So on July the 12th, the defendant and the victim got into an argument while riding in an SUV in the Hollywood Hills. So the victim exited the vehicle, and Peterson is accused of shooting several times at her feet rather, and wounding her, the press release reads. So although the DA's office doesn't identify the female rap star as the victim, who, if you've seen the video, it's WAP, the singer revealed over the summer that she suffered multiple gunshot wounds requiring surgery to remove the bullets. So she also shared the gruesome photos of her injured foot. Eventually, the savage singer named Lanez, whom she was romantically linked to as the person who pulled the trigger. So she is, yes, this basically, I'm going to read it. It's in quotes. So I believe this is Megan replying, or someone replying. Okay, so yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me, and you got your publicists and your people to these blogs lying and shit. Megan said on social media. Stop lying. So this was in quotes, and this is was on social media, and she as in Megan The Stallion was voicing her concern about what was being put out online by the publicist, and that's why I was saying, let me stop here. A lot of times when you see these articles of people, famous people getting into disputes, like the most recent one was the divorce between Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. The publicists will put things in the articles on behalf of the person, so it pretty much paints a picture of the person being the as if they did not commit any acts of injury towards the person that they're having the dispute with. And so they'll clean up the article, or either they'll mudsling when it comes to like divorces, celebrity divorces, or if it comes to situations such as this. But this right here was so brutal and so vicious, the shooting. There's no way you could get a publicist to try to clean that up. So Lanez and his team reportedly attempted to run a smear campaign in the press to try to discredit Megan. He even put out a whole album refuting her allegations, but faced backlash for his obvious attempt to try to capitalize on the incident. And so that attempt didn't go over well. So Megan's response to that, to his defense album, was short and not so sweet. So if the convicted as charged, Lanez faces a possible maximum of 20 to the top it said to 23 years and 8 months, or so I believe that's why they say 23 possible years in the state prison. So Megan, fresh off her buzzy appearance in Saturday Night Live, has yet to address the DA decision to file the charges. So that's the problem with these relationships. On the outside, everybody looks glamorous, they look happy, and they look like they're having a great relationship. But on the inside, you find out that that's not the case, that there's a lot more going on behind closed doors than that glamorous celebrity relationship. And so a lot of times too, culture-wise, race plays a part in it as well, and gender. Women are pretty much made to look as though that they're not hurting, that they're not telling the truth, they're liars. And if it's black women in particular, we're not trusted. We're always looked at as to be liars and storytellers, and that we're not hurting, and that we caused our own pain, our own deaths. Like even in the Breonna Taylor situation, I know it's not a celebrity relationship, but in terms of relationship, I believe you, I kid you not, I saw what looked like there was someone that was peddling online that Breonna Taylor had bad choices in decision making. Basically, they were blaming her for her death. And the person that has this is a black male that's online, that's got this video out, basically putting all of the blame, and there's several of them, not just one, black males online. There's a sort of select group of them that have a specific hatred towards black females, and they are black themselves. I don't know what this is, where this comes from, but it is there, and they will peddle these things online. So there's this guy, I saw what looked like he said, basically it was in caption, Breonna Taylor had bad choices in decision making. Basically, blaming her for the choices that she made is the reason why she's dead. And not blaming the people who actually murdered her, went to her house with a no-knock warrant, which has been historically something that has been done to black people in general, and unannounced, which they claim they were announced, and several witnesses said they did not hear them announce themselves, barged into the home, and then the boyfriend acted accordingly because he was inside the apartment, thought someone was breaking in, shot an officer, and then they just hurled gunshots in the woman's apartment. They were not held accountable for what they did, except one officer was held accountable for wanton endangerment, shooting in the walls or maybe the windows of a neighbor's apartment, not even killing Breonna Taylor. He's not even going to be held accountable for that. And so you have a black man that has a video online saying specifically that, oh, Breonna Taylor made bad choices. That was why the 3 white officers shot into her apartment. And so now you got this case here. This is a relationship that apparently maybe Megan did not see this coming. Or maybe she saw signs, but she didn't really think that it was going to get this far out of control. Because somebody to shoot you like this, there had to be some signs that he had violent tendencies. I've seen with my own 2 eyes relationships that wind up even worse than this one, where the male attempts to actually kill the female. She never lives to have a case to put him behind bars. And if she does have a case to put him behind bars, somebody else is doing it because she's not there to testify on her own behalf because she is dead. So this is the kind of stuff that happens within. This has happened in the black community where we tend to put a lot of emphasis on protecting our abusers. And I don't know, this may happen in other, people's backgrounds or communities, but I feel like we as black women tend to have this way where we protect even the black males that are harshly and aggressively abusive to black females. And at some point it has to stop, because you won't be here to protect anybody if you allow these people to do this. And so this is yet but another incident. So anyway, without any more input, I just thought it was really crazy, the videos that I've been seeing, and people are bashing the heck out of Nicole Young for the divorce. They're looking at the money, talking about, how she's greedy and all of this. But she mentioned that she had took years of abuse. Now, for that part, I feel like this is a good time to mention this because of this incident here. This was quick. This was the shooting. Megan right away, she said, no, I'm not going to cover this up. I'm not going to protect him. He didn't protect me, obviously. So he's got to pay the price for his decisions. His bad decision making. Look what this person has done. And so this is not Megan's fault. She didn't shoot herself in the foot. So she didn't ask for this. But yet you'll have people that were online, they were talking about her when she had gotten shot, and they were making fun of her. They were making fun of her They were putting videos out and making it look like that she was at fault as to why she received her injuries. And this is what they do oftentimes to black females. Like, we ask for it. And so some of these women are in abusive relationships because they have pressure to be in a relationship, because it's said if you don't have a man, something must be wrong with you. So that is the reason why some of these women will choose somebody that is violent and vicious like this, because they don't want anybody making comments, which they already do, making comments that, oh, she ain't got no man. So they pick any man, even people like this. So I'm gonna let this video go, but there are videos floating around making fun of Megan. Probably videos gonna float around saying she deserved to be shot, because there are horrible people out there that do that stuff. There are videos actually blaming Breonna Taylor for her death. And who is this coming from? You would think it was coming from people who you think there were 3 white officers. Maybe it's white racist people doing this. No, you have black males doing it. It's not all black males. So let me be clear. Not all black males are like this. But we have some that are online and they push this toxic, extremist misogyny behavior to the point to where it becomes abuse and violence towards females and hatred. And so this is where you'll end up. But anyway, this is not all black men, so let me be clear, because you have black men who are protective of black females and of their mother and their sister, and they are very respectful, and they don't want to cause injury, and they want to help, and they want to lift you up and see you be all you can be. But unfortunately, you have a select group that is online that is peddling hatred towards black females. And it's a smear campaign that constantly runs. And it's all over. It's on Twitter, it's on YouTube, it's on Instagram, I'm sure. It's on all the social media sites. They probably have websites specifically for men who hate black females. And it tends to be, unfortunately, some of our own black men that are doing this. And I feel like a lot of this is coming from men who have had relationships that have failed. Maybe they can't step up to the plate to be a provider. Maybe they have also had trauma in their lives, and when they were younger, they saw their parents fight and they saw their mothers abused. Maybe they themselves have come from sexual, mental, and emotional and physical abuse, and so they don't know how to channel their energy. They don't know how to go and seek help, and they don't know how to ask for help because there's too macho and they're too egocentric, and they have too much testosterone to the point to where they feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to look like a wimp if I go and get counseling because I have anger issues or I was sexually abused and I don't know how to handle my anger, but yet to take it out on females because they're the weaker sex or they're viewed as weak, and so he can take his aggressions or his psycho aggressions out on women, the closest thing to him, the girlfriend. And so anyway, I am going to let this video go, but that is where I feel like this stuff has been promoted for far too long, and it has got to stop because it does not bring us together. It doesn't build us up as people. It's not healthy. And if you have anger issues, you need to go get help. Don't take your anger out on who's the closest one next to you because it's the easiest way out. As we see, it isn't the easy way out. It isn't for him. For Tory Lanez, it didn't end up being the easy way out. It was the easy way and the easy ticket into prison is what it is. So anyway, so I'm going to let this video go. What do you think about this? And I know there's going to be more of a smear campaign about what happened to Megan, because they're going to pin blame on her, because we have people that are like that. So like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for listening.